All right, today we're going to jump right into a formula that is honestly a lifesaver for anyone who needs to mix chemical solutions with any kind of precision. We're going to make chemical blending super, super easy.
You know that feeling when you're trying to get a mix just right? I mean, think about your morning coffee or even mixing up a cleaning solution. It's kind of more art than science, right? A little bit of this, a splash of that, and you just hope for the best.
Okay, but when we move away from the kitchen and into, say, professional and industrial settings, that guesswork, well, it's not just messy anymore. It can be downright dangerous.
Yeah, think about something like water treatment. If you get that chemical strength even a little bit wrong, you could be affecting public safety. It's a real balancing act. Too strong? You're wasting money, and it could even be harmful. Too weak? The whole treatment process just fails. So precision here is absolutely everything.
But here's the good news. There's a tool for this, a really powerful, elegant little formula that takes all of that guesswork and just throws it out the window. It's designed to solve this exact problem every single time. And here it is. I know, it might look a little intense at first glance with all the letters and numbers, but trust me, once we break it down, you're going to see it's one of the most straightforward and crazy useful equations you'll ever use for this kind of work. All right, let's break this thing down. It's simpler than it looks. C is just your concentration. You know, the strength of the solution, usually a percentage. V is for volume. Easy enough, right? The little numbers, the 1 and 2, they're just labels for the two liquids you're starting with. And number 3, that's your final mix. And here's a key thing to remember. V3, your final volume, is just the first two volumes added together. V1 plus V2. That's it. You know, the best way to really get a feel for this isn't just to stare at it. We need to actually use it. So let's walk through a super common scenario. We're going to figure out the final strength of a new blend. Okay, so here's the deal. Picture this. You've got a big tank, and it's already got 500 gallons of an 8% solution sitting in it. Now, you're going to add another 100 gallons, but this new stuff is a bit stronger. It's a 12% solution. So the million-dollar question is, what's the new concentration once everything is all mixed up? We're going to knock this out in 3 simple steps. First, we just figure out what we already know. Second, we plug those numbers right into the formula. And finally, we solve for the one thing we don't know, that final concentration, C3. Easy. All right, step 1, what do we have? Well, our first solution, we'll call it C1 and V1, is 8% strong and there are 500 gallons of it. Our second solution, C2 and V2, is 12% strong and we're adding 100 gallons. So what's our total final volume, V3? That's just 500 plus 100, which is 600 gallons. Perfect. Okay, step 2, plug and play. We just slot those numbers right into our formula. So we get 8 times 500 plus 12 times 100 equals our mystery number, C3 times 600. See that? What looked like a tricky chemistry problem is now just a straightforward math equation. Let's crunch the numbers. 8 times 500, that's 4,000. Then 12 times 100, that's 1,200. Add them together, and you get 5,200 on the left side of the equation. We are so close now. Just one more little step to find C3. And for the big finale, we just divide that 5,200 by 600, and what do we get? Boom, 8.67%. That's it. That's our final concentration. No guessing, no close enough, just a perfect, exact answer. Okay, that was cool, right? But what if you're doing something else? Let's tackle another case study, and this one is probably something you'll do all the time, creating a very specific strength by watering down a stronger solution. So here's your new mission. You need exactly 50 liters of a 5% solution for a project, but all you've got on the shelf is a big jug of concentrated 15% stock and, a water tap. So the question is, how much of that strong stuff and how much water do you need to mix to get it perfect? Let's lay out our puzzle pieces again. C1, our stock solution, is 15%. V1, well, that's what we need to figure out. That's our unknown. Our second liquid is just plain water, so its concentration, C2, is 0%. And what do we want to end up with? Our target, C3, is 5%, and our target volume, V3, is 50 liters. Got it. Time to plug them in. We get 15 times our mystery volume V1 plus 0 times, well, whatever V2 is, equals our target, 5 times 50. And this is where the formula gets really slick. Check this out. Since we're using water, Its concentration is 0, and anything times 0 is 0. So that whole second chunk of the equation, the C2 times V2, it just vanishes. Poof. All we're left with is this super simple equation. 15 times V1 equals 250. Okay, now for the easy part. We just divide 250 by 15, and that gives us our answer for V1. We need 16.67 liters of that concentrated 15% chemical. But wait, we're not done yet. That's only half the recipe. We need a total of 50 liters, right? So we take our total volume, 50 liters, and subtract the 16.67 liters of chemical we just calculated. And that tells us we need to add 33.33 liters of water. And there you go, the perfect, precise recipe for your dilution. So you can see how powerful this formula really is, right? It's super versatile. But before you run off and start mixing, we gotta cover a few absolutely critical rules. This is about using this tool correctly and, more importantly, safely. Every single time. Rule number 1, keep your units consistent. Seriously, if you start with gallons, everything has to be in gallons. Don't mix and match. Rule number 2, double check your math. Then check it again. A little slip of a decimal point can take you from the right dose to a really, really big problem. And finally, number 3, remember, the formula is just a math tool. It doesn't know what chemicals you're mixing. You have to know the properties. You have to know the safety rules for what you're actually handling. And look, if you only remember one safety tip from this entire thing, please make it this one. When you're diluting something, especially a strong acid, you always add the acid to the water. Never ever the other way around. It's a huge safety thing. It helps manage the heat and stops dangerous splashing. So there you have it. A really simple formula that completely replaces guesswork with precision. It's just a great reminder, isn't it, that sometimes the problems that look the most complicated actually have a pretty elegant solution hiding inside. It really makes you wonder, what other tough challenges in your day-to-day work are just waiting for you to find the right, simple formula to solve them?